He's gone. Frank Lampard officially sacked as Chelsea manager this morning, and yeah, as you can tell, I'm absolutely just gutted. I have a few notes on this, sacking. I actually made them after the Leicester game because, let's be honest, it was really obvious he was going to get sacked after that Leicester game, after the performance, after the result. But I don't even know if I want to actually use them, because what I feel then is completely different to what I feel now when he actually has been officially sacked. I actually can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. And there's a few things I want to get onto in this video, but first of all, the best player to ever play for Chelsea Football Club sacked, not even given time to develop himself as a manager, to develop the squad that first of all he built. Nearly every single player in that first team squad is here because of him. And of course some people will say it's the right decision. Some people will say, he wasn't ready for the job or whatever, and maybe I do agree with that to a certain extent, but after everything he's done for this football club, don't you think he deserves a bit of time to actually, as I said, develop this squad that firstly he's built? He's going to make mistakes. He's an inexperienced manager. Every inexperienced manager is going to make mistakes. The same way Nagelsmann probably would make mistakes if he came as well, but Nagelsmann, he got time, and now look where he is. And look, maybe it's just the bias in me, because the image of him winning trophies at Chelsea would have been an absolutely incredible, beautiful sight, but you know what, at the end of the day, it's just, I'm absolutely gutted. And to be honest, I'm really, really disappointed in the board, if I'm honest, because I do think it was incredibly sneaky to go hawking around Lampard's back for managers. And obviously Thomas Tuchel, as we know, is now probably going to be the next manager. He probably will be appointed by the time this video does go live, but I just find it really, really bad of the board, and to be honest, I've lost a lot of respect for them, and I know I'll never, not love Roman Abramovich and Marina Granovskaya, because they've done so much for this club, especially in the last decade or so, but I think it's really, really disrespectful to Frank Lampard to be hawking around his back like that, and, making him believe that he actually has time in the job when he just simply doesn't, and that's not right in my opinion. And although Frank Lampard did pull off some master strokes, he did look out of his depth in terms of tactically and stuff like that every now and then, so I'm not going to be too disappointed on that stage, but overall I'm just I can't help but just be absolutely gutted, to be honest. And actually I will try and get into going into these notes that I did make after the Leicester game now, and the first one, the reasoning behind him getting sacked, and I purely do believe that it is a 50-50 between Frank Lampard and the Chelsea players. I do feel like Lampard did get it wrong on multiple occasions, especially in the last month or so when we've gone on this really bad run, but I do feel like as well the players actually did kind of let him down. It's given me vibes of Jose Mourinho 15-16 against Leicester when we lost at the King Power Stadium, and after the game, he fell out with the players. The players, kind of betrayed him in a way, and I feel like this is nearly the exact same situation, if I'm honest, because I do feel like the players have, kind of betrayed him, not to the full extent, but I do think that they've let him down quite a bit, and I think that's one of the main reasons why he's been sacked, because I actually heard as well that the players actually had an involvement in Frank Lampard's sacking, and if I find out that is true, that is absolutely disgusting. I don't agree with that in any circumstance, at any club, for any manager. And but obviously that's just speculation, so I'm not going to go too far into it in this video until something is actually confirmed or actually released. I feel like he lost the dressing room after the Arsenal game when we lost 3-1, of course, at the Emirates on Boxing Day. After that game, I did say that, he came out and blamed the players publicly, which was never going to go well. It never does go well for any manager at any circumstance, and I feel like that's the game when it really, really did go to shit, because I do feel like after that game, he did lose the dressing room, and that's probably one of the main reasons why he has been sacked, because of the players falling out with him. But overall, you know what, I'm actually going to try and be positive in this video now, because he massively overachieved. I actually think that overall he succeeded at Chelsea. I really, really do, because last season when he came in after losing Eden Hazard, that's like 50% of our goal contributions gone, the whole turmoil of losing Maurizio Sarri, the transfer ban as well, which people don't forget. I think he massively overachieved us last season, because before the season actually started, nobody expected us to be anywhere near top 4. Most people said we'd be lucky to finish mid-table at best, and we got top 4 in the end, and although it was a bit of a tricky season overall, he got us into the top 4 and earned the backing from the board in the summer. He earned time this season, and unfortunately he hasn't been given the latter, but I do feel like as well he's actually left us in a way better situation than the situation he inherited, because our squad first and foremost is way better than the one that he inherited. We've got a young, very good squad now with very good potential, even the likes of Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, etc., who yes, haven't hit the ground running as yet, but I do think that another manager like Thomas Tuchel, who of course is the new manager now, I think he could get the best out of him. So Frank Lampard, he's built us a really, really good squad and built us some very good foundations for Tuchel when he takes over in the next few hours. And he's given us a really, really exciting future as Chelsea Football Club, and for that I just want to say thank you so much, Frank Lampard. You've done absolute wonders to turn this situation from when it was at the end of Maurizio Sarri's era, and I'm not blaming Sarri for that whatsoever, because that's just what he inherited. He's turned it into an absolutely very good squad, a very good project, and potentially a squad that does guide us to title titles in the near future with a few players added. And yeah, my only hope and prayer now is that Frank Lampard can go away, go to another club, prove himself as a manager, develop himself as a manager and his ideas and his philosophies, and obviously develop from a tactical standpoint. And then in a few years, who knows, maybe come back when he's more equipped to do so and potentially guide us to titles, even though that probably won't happen, probably for another decade at the very least, because the fact that he's fallen out with the board obviously doesn't help. And yeah, one thing I do want to say as well is I do firmly believe still that Frank Lampard is destined to become a top class manager. He has every single attribute to it. His mentality is top class, as he proved as a player. Everybody written him off as a player. I think he will still do the same as a manager, and I do think in a few years time he will become a top class manager, and that is just absolutely no doubt in my mind whatsoever that he will. And to be honest, I actually think the sacking will do him a bit of good, because overall I think that he will have learned lessons from the Chelsea job that he can take into his next job and his next job and so on. So yeah, overall I just do pray that he comes back one day when he's more equipped to do so, because I don't want to get rid of that image in my head of Frank Lampard winning Chelsea a title in the Premier League, because that would just be absolutely incredible. But yeah, at this moment in time it just doesn't look like it's meant to be. But yeah, as for the future, who knows. And in terms of the future, I just want to say no disrespect to Thomas Tuchel whatsoever, because as much as I am gutted to see Frank Lampard go, we do have to combine now and we do have to stick behind Thomas Tuchel, because he's a very good manager, and I think if he does get given time, unlike Frank Lampard, I think he will succeed at Chelsea, whether it be short term or not. And yeah, we do have to back Thomas Tuchel now. As Chelsea fans, we have to get over this as soon as possible. But it does look like we're back into the cycle of short term managers with a bit of short term success, and whether I like that or not, who's it me to decide. But yeah, overall it does look like we're back to that. It just probably means that we won't get the stability that we did want as Chelsea fans when Frank Lampard took over, for Chelsea manager to be in charge for more than 2 or 3 years, because let's be honest, Thomas Tuchel probably will not be in charge by the time 2023-2024 happens. And in terms of the next manager, obviously it is going to be Thomas Tuchel, the former PSG and Borussia Dortmund manager, which I am pretty happy about if I had to choose a successor, because I always said my first choice was Julian Nagelsmann and my second choice was Thomas Tuchel. So obviously it does look like Julian Nagelsmann, either he didn't want to come or Leipzig weren't willing to let him go. So yeah, Thomas Tuchel, welcome to Chelsea, the new Chelsea manager, and we will have to get fully behind him from minute one if we do want to succeed as a football club, because of course, as much as we like Frank Lampard, the club has to come first, and yeah, that's just the way it has to be, if I'm honest. I just hope that the Lampard out brigade and all the people on Twitter, the so-called fans that have been absolutely hating on Frank Lampard over the last months, even years if I'm honest, I hope that they will now ease it off a bit. Frank Lampard's gone as manager, and hopefully now you can get back to actually respecting him as a man, as a manager, and as a Chelsea great, as the best player to ever kick a football, debatably, for Chelsea Football Club. And you know what, I never wanted him to be sacked, and to be honest, I'm still not 100% on board with it whatsoever. I do still think he should have been given time, but at the end of the day, I'm a Chelsea fan, and you know what, I'm going to back the next manager, whoever was to come in, even if it was someone that I just don't even like. I would have had to back him as Chelsea manager. That's just the way I am, and that's just the way it should be. So yeah, but yeah, let's look on the bright side to conclude, because the season still can be saved. Of course, top four is still available and on the line for us, as unlikely as it sounds, because we do have the likes of Liverpool, City, United, Leicester, Everton, even Southampton, you could say, competing for the top four. Spurs as well, actually, I forgot to mention as well. The season can still be saved, and I think if Thomas Tuchel does get that honeymoon period and does get that new manager bounce, I do think we can get ourselves back into that running. And yeah, I think top four now at this moment in time is the absolute bare minimum for us this season, even though I wouldn't be too critical of Thomas Tuchel if he didn't manage to get us in there, because we're in no situation whatsoever to actually get in there. But yeah, to conclude, I'm absolutely gutted, I'm distraught if you can't tell already. I was actually on the brink of tears when I saw the news on Sky Sport, and as soppy as that sounds, I don't know what else to say, if I'm honest. I really don't. I'm absolutely speechless, even though I've said all that. It just doesn't feel right whatsoever. And as I said, when I was making these notes after the Leicester game, I was thinking, oh, you know what, it should be okay. But now that it's actually happened, it's just hit me like a train, and I actually just cannot believe it. It's one of those things, you don't believe it till it actually happens, and you don't actually feel the full effects of it until it actually happens, and that's the honest truth. But yeah, Frank Lampard sacked as Chelsea manager, confirmed. Thomas Tuchel will take over if he hasn't already, of course. So yeah, thank you, Frank Lampard. Welcome, Thomas Tuchel. We welcome a new era. It's going to take some time to get over it, but yeah, we do have to back Thomas Tuchel to the full extent, as I said already in this video. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on the video. 20 likes will be massively appreciated, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new as well, because we are now looking to hit 1,300 subscribers as soon as we possibly can. So if you do subscribe to the channel, it would cost you absolutely nothing and would make my day certainly a lot better than this now after this news. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.